everyone. I'm John Evans, and welcome to another episode of One on One. The new season of NBC's hit show, The Voice, is now underway, and Southeastern North Carolina has a special connection to season 22. Morgan Myles is one of the finalists on the show. The singer-songwriter from Nashville blew the celebrity judges away in her blind audition, getting a 4-chair turn within 40 seconds of starting her performance. The response raised Morgan's profile on the national stage, but it also reaffirmed her faith in her own talent after years of life as a touring musician. In this one-on-one interview, Morgan talks about getting that much-needed boost and about why she chose Wilmington for a special competition of her own. And Morgan is joining us now. Morgan, number one, congratulations, 4-chair turn on a blind audition. You can't get much better in a start than that.
No, it was, what a wonderful feeling. I felt very encouraged in that moment. I feel like 16 years alone in Nashville of doing this, I don't know if I would have focused on probably the one chair that didn't turn around if I didn't get all 4. Because it's been a long road for me, and really what the judges had to say after that, I mean, I kept crying. It's like, oh no, I'm crying on national television. And it was, I was just so humbled and honored and moved by what they had to say. And I just remember like feeling so at peace after I left that day, because after that you go home, and my parents were with me, and I was just very teary the whole time. So it just I will always be able to leave with that moment. It was really inspiring.
How did you come to pick Wilmington as your city in North Carolina for Miles Across America? Explain that to me, and explain to everybody what's at stake here.
Well, I have played Wilmington several times throughout the last, I don't know, maybe 7 years. And the very first time I played there, it was so cool because I was playing for a benefit for a woman in town that was going through a medical scenario. And I just remember feeling so much love around this person, and they all just became so supportive. Like, it just such a good vibe. Wilmington is such a cute, like, quaint little city where everybody just seems insanely happy. And every time that I can get there and play, like, it's always this open arms feeling for me. Not like a struggle of like, like I remember too, like we're treated so well as artists when we come into town. Like, you guys put us up really well and like take care of us and feed us. It's like that goes a long, long way. And I just knew, I knew Christy, and I knew if I said, hey, I've got this idea, she was like, oh, I'm in. So it was kind of like, I just know, like, she's just got a heart of gold. And I just love everybody there. I love playing in Wilmington. Always have, always will. What
do the fans need to do as far as supporting you? And then you may actually come here and play a full boat concert, right?
Yep, I'm doing this competition that's called Miles Across America, and whoever throws the best watch party or watch parties throughout the season, I will pick and choose. I think I'm going to play more than just one, of a grand prize winner of coming and playing in their hometown for free next year, or a house party or whatever. So I want to have something fun that gets the stakes going, and I love all my little competition. Like, people get really into it. So basically get whatever. I know some people made fat heads of my face. Some people got t-shirts made for like milestones, they call themselves. Some people are making posters. Make sure that you represent Wilmington or your state, North Carolina, and just whatever you want to do. Get creative, some cool slogans, whatever you think.
Now, you will need fan support, though, if you keep moving on in The Voice, right? Not just from Wilmington, but everywhere.
Everywhere. And that's why I want to have fun with it and get people excited. It's such an exciting time. And my biggest reason about going on The Voice is the fact that we kind of took the middleman out, and it's truly the fans get to decide if they want to continue listening, or they relate to me as a musician, or they want to go buy tickets after this thing's done. So I just love that element. So if you believe in me, please just take a little bit of time, download the Voice app, and hopefully I get to that round where you have to start voting, and then just go ham. That's all I can say. And follow me on my socials, Morgan Myles Live. That's literally me going through and trying to comment on every single person, because it really does mean so much to me. And, so please, I mean, if you need to DM me, ask me questions, whatever, that's what we want here. We want to get to you guys. So that's the most important thing.
You were the first blind audition. Boy, you can't get much more pressure-packed than that, can you? Did you have to put all that out of your mind? How did you approach this, knowing that you were the very first one?
I don't even know if I really was the first one being filmed. I had no idea I was the premiere. I had no idea I was the leak. They keep they want to keep us kind of not in the know as artists. So really all I did, and this is probably just years of experience, is focus on you and the song Hallelujah. And like I always say this, if I'm nervous, it's about really just going into your inner place and knowing why you sang that song, and making sure you're connecting your soul so that you deliver it in the most authentic, genuine way. And my little trick is I always look at a light. And I just kept focusing on this one spotlight that was on the stage, and just so that I wouldn't get distracted by the cameras, the chairs, the celebrities. I just wanted to focus on delivering that 90 seconds of my favorite song in the world. I just wanted to make sure that I did it justice. And so that was really just kind of like just focusing within me and the song and what I love to do.
Now, you sang Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah. Why that one? Because on your record, which is called Therapy, for those who haven't downloaded it yet, I am saying it's a great record. Go and download it. It's full of great songs. But on that record, there are some songs that are really hard rockers, like Empire starts it off and you really rock. So that's so much on the other side of Empire and some of the songs on your record. Why did you choose that one?
I mean, no matter what, I think you're thinking, well, like Empire is still very cinematic, and it's still like lyrically heavy in the sense of empowerment and soul. No matter what, you will always have this level of deeper rooted lyrics, but a lot of soul that I come into every performance with. And so Hallelujah is a song that means so much to so many people, and it means something different throughout your life, no matter what you're going through. And sometimes you don't even know what it means, but Hallelujah is hope. And when you get to that place that when you're begging for hope like that, and you've reached your rock bottom at times, this is when true faith and perseverance comes through. And that's Empire is about that as well. A lot of songs that I write about is persevering and determination and empowerment. And there's so many lyrics within Hallelujah that I relate to on so many deep levels. And I think that's the same for a lot of people. It's a beautiful song that it's hope. We all need hope right now, especially more than ever. And I think we can all agree on that.
That's true. When you're singing, do you see all the chairs in front of you? Can you see Camille's chair turn first, her block, Gwen? Is all that going on? And did you notice all that happening? Or are you just picking a spot and then saying, I'm going to sing to that spot, and not really see everything else happening before you?
I wasn't paying attention so much to the chairs. At times I remember Gwen and Camila had already turned around and my eyes had been closed, so I didn't know what happened there. I didn't even notice that there was a block or whatever until like Gwen said I'm blocked. I said, oh my gosh, you're blocked. I didn't even know that was happening. But I do remember at some point I felt like a relief, the fact that two had turned, and then I loosened it up a little bit, just like, okay, do Morgan, do what you know how to do. And then especially when all four had turned around, I could breathe and just be like, okay, they're turned around, like now to just put on the show and don't worry about it and just give it all you got. And yeah, so there was definitely a relaxing relief of like a whew moment that I could loosen up again within that 90 seconds. So.
Yeah, I mean, that was quite the series of dominoes that fell in a heartbeat too. You started, Camila turned, the block came up when Gwen turned, and then John and Blake turned around later. Had you been able to play all this out in your mind, would you have thought that all four could have turned? Would you have been satisfied with one? I mean, all artists have to be confident, but if you had played it out to your best expectations, what would have happened compared to what did happen?
I just know myself. I'm a perfectionist, and again, there's a lot of people on the show that, you know, they've never even played on stages. I mean, I've been through 16 years, actually more. I've been doing this since I was like 13, and it's been such a long road. And I think I would have focused on the people that probably didn't turn. And I would like, what could I have done better? Or, you know, like, I just think I'm so hard on myself and I'm such a perfectionist that, you know, I internalize everything. I want to be my best. And I think I would have taken it kind of hard. So no, I'm now, and I had no idea what other people's auditions were like or what was really going on. So I had no idea how this was really playing out. But I don't think I could have asked for anything better. Now that we've aired it and I've seen it all, I just feel really, really blessed that it was just received so incredibly well and people are so touched by it. And I'm just so happy that like it landed the way it did. And again, I had no clue. When I'm seeing it on television, I'm seeing it for the first time, like with you guys. So, you know, it's a crazy scenario. It's a lot of anxiety. It's excitement, but it is anxious feeling. So, no, I'm so happy how it landed.
Yeah.
I can't complain. I just can't complain.
Yeah. Camila called you, this is her quote, a dream artist, said you were singing with your soul. John Legend said it was one of the best auditions he's seen in such a long time. He called it exquisite. Blake Shelton said your gift is that you can make people really believe what you're singing about. And Gwen said you sounded like you were on the Grammy stage already. And this, she said, it's ridiculous. Okay, Morgan, how do you keep your head from just coming up like this and all of a sudden you got to stay hungry, right? You've got to put that aside and be Morgan, still hungry, moving forward despite the accolades that you got.
It's easy for me because I've lived it. So even though you might have a really great moment, it's so much after to keep that momentum going. And, you know, here I had that same week, for instance, I had just had this crazy experience aired on television. By the weekend, I'm playing the third side stage at a fair in Massachusetts, and I'm exhausted. My back's hurting from carrying my guitar, and I'm sitting on the side of the curb because I can't get a lift in time to get to my flight. And that's the reality. You've got to put the work in. And the other day, I was happy to just hang with Reba McEntire watching her rehearsal. And, you know, she's so inspiring and so humble and so kind. And I've always looked up at like her as like the ultimate human who you should be as an artist. And there's such a warmth. I want to bring that feeling of that kind energy when you walk into a room to make people feel more than just, you know, oh, she can sing good. Like that is not I feel like I want to make people feel good, feel the presence, feel just this warmth. And that's what Reba McEntire does. She blows me away. And I just think I've just been through so many ups and downs. I've been around so much. I've interned for everybody. I have been put through the ringer. I
Right.
have had my hopes up so many times to be barely able hanging on. And I honestly, I just have a sincere gratitude for just still doing it. And I mean, I just, I don't think I have it in me to my head to blow up. I'm gonna get emotional again.
Is it validation though? I mean, do you have to take a second and say, I'm working with what the good Lord gave me. I'm doing the best I can. Thank you. It's some validation to the hard work. Now I'm going to work with my coach and get better.
Absolutely. Because, you know, after last year, 117 shows, solo acoustic on the road, I mean, I was exhausted and some things went down with my booking agent who had committed fraud. And this is why I ended up like taking the chance on the voice of like, because I was questioning, I was like, how am I going through this yet again? And so when I got that validation, it was okay, this is the encouragement, this is the sign that you keep praying for, and this is pretty major. So quit, you know, woohooing and wipe those tears, put your bootstraps on. You come way too far and you've tried way too long. And you do have a talent, Morgan. And I believe that's why God gave me this gift. I really believe that. And my intentions are truly from a good place. And I hope people see that. And yeah, I needed it. I think I really needed quite a big validation moment of encouragement
What
because I was struggling for sure. I was.
did you get close to maybe thinking about this may not be for me?
Oh yeah. I don't think I'd be human if I said it no. But I have such a strong support system, and when I take a little time to really go, well, what's important to me, and it's the music and it's the listeners, and I have a wonderful, cool life filled with a lot of craziness, but I get to do what I love, and again, it's just like I'm still really blessed once you start taking, you know, steps back, and it's not always going to be roses, you know, but I'm still here, I'm still doing it, so what can I say?
Do you think if you had not have the experience that you do have, you'd be able to handle it as well as you're handling this? Let's face it, you said you've been in Nashville 16 years. You've done tours with, Old Dominion and Rick Springfield and Luke Bryan. And I don't want to say you've paid all your dues, but you paid a pretty good amount of dues. Would you have
Oh
been
yeah.
able to handle it this well had you maybe just walked off the high school graduation stage last week and onto The Voice this week?
No, I don't think so because I have a lot of meat on my bones and with a lot of confidence now of being okay to be vulnerable and open about my story. And you know, I'm okay with telling what I've been through and why I'm here and what the voice means to me. Now, there's also a level of pressure of making, I am on the older side versus people coming right off of high school. And so I really have to like prove and like otherwise I think there's it's my own issue, just making sure that I deliver all those years of experience. And you know, I think there's that side of the pressure versus just being like, what do I have to lose? You know, for
Yeah, but
me, I've got more to lose in the sense of, you know, what I've been through. So it's like now's the time. But you know, I went on this show 100% for exposure. You know, this is a great boot camp for people getting started. No matter what, you can learn so much from this show. Like you can, and you're always going to learn as an artist. So it's been really good too to see what the audience is going to resonate with me with musically, you know, all of it. So it's crazy, but for me, it's just such a huge strategy to build your career in a promotion. I mean, I think the Voice was saying like they get 8 million views per episode. I mean, you can't, it's just wild, you know,
yeah,
like and they're all music fans, you know, they're people that like listening to music. So it's a show that's like really good to hone in fans and promotion and marketing. And so you can't buy that, you know.
To hear you talk, though, Morgan, you sing. When I hear the songs on your record, once again, the record is Therapy, for those of you who have never heard it. When I hear you sing, you're full of confidence. You're, for the lack of a better term, belting out from deep within your soul. To hear you have those little, maybe am I sensing self-doubt, is really fascinating to me because it doesn't sound like it when you're performing.
I mean, because that's this, like, you know, I think that there is, when you have confidence, you've been through things that you've endured. I think that's a mixture of both, and knowing it's okay that you have endured some things and that you have endured the self-doubt and, you know, maybe I'm not good enough for this. Every artist struggles with that. I mean, every artist does. Some people come off with a big ego, but they're still insecure about it. And we just want to do what we love. It's a hard industry, and we know it's not the easiest thing. But yeah, I mean, for me, like vulnerability and being aware that, you know, you have gone through these things, I think that's within a song like that is empowering. You don't get empowered unless you've had to like pick yourself up and get back on track. I mean, if everything was that easy, I don't know if you'd be grateful for the fact that you were back at this place. So it's part of living. And, you know, we're humans, and you can't wake up every day like you try to choose joy and you try not to get in your head, but you know, we're humans. We're going to have some setbacks sometimes. And sometimes people are coming at you strong and hard, and it knocks you down, and you're tired and you're exhausted and you're one person. And so that's such the beauty of being a songwriter for me, is I can write all that out. It's such a therapy for me to get through. And a lot of times that's what I'm hopefully wanting, like a passive aggressive way of approaching a song that I'm wanting for myself. I might not be there, but I'm telling myself, like, you're an empire. Like, come on, Morgan. Like, and then I'll leave that writing appointment 3 hours later, feeling a little bit stronger, feeling a little bit happier, feeling like, okay, maybe that situation was worth it because I was able to put in a song that hopefully makes somebody feel that way too.
Right, yeah. Make you stand up a little bit taller. What did you learn from all of those artists like Luke Bryan and Rick Springfield and Old Dominion? What do you take away when you open for them and then you're done and you get the applause and then you go, do you stand off stage and watch them? Do you watch how they treat people?
Yeah, I try to stay. A lot of times, though, I have to leave so I can get to the next place on time. But yes, I think the people that are at the top, including the Rivas of the world, the Luke Bryans, they treat people so good. They have an energy about them that people fall in love with the person. Their music's great and everything, but they have a warmth to them. And I believe the people that are at the top, that remain on the top, just treat people really, really, really well. And it's the golden rule of life, y'all, is just treat people how you want to be treated. And they're, from my experience, the ones that seem to remain on top are all really, really good human beings.
When did the love of music enter your life?
Oh, I was singing when I was little. I mean, my mom said I sat down at the piano when I was like 4 or something and just started playing and singing along. And she was like, what? I don't have anybody that's musical in my family. So my mom started taking piano lessons with me at 5. And I guess you could say the rest is history. I just had this like weird voice that came out of nowhere.
When did you decide to give that a full-time attention and go into that full-time?
I would say where we were working. I mean, I was so busy in school. My mom was so supportive. I would be going back and forth from New York City. I was highly into dance as well while playing soccer. But my senior year, I tore my ACL. I was the captain of the team, but I was so into that sport for years and years. And that was when that was like, you're looking at colleges and you're like, you know what, it's time to, this was a sign. So I went to Berklee College of Music my first year. And, you know, I don't think it was like music chose me. I don't think I've ever had that thing was like, we should really just give this a try. It just kept like, you know, every time we just kept chipping away at this crazy career of like, how do you do this and that sort of thing. And then I got some opportunities from Sony Nashville that first year I was in college at Berklee. And then they're like, in order to keep working with you, you need to transfer to, or you need to move to Nashville. So I transferred to Belmont and did a music business, degree. And it's just been my entire life has been encompassed by music. That's why, like, when I do get down, it's like, oh my God, then like, who am I? I mean, I'm completely ensconced in it. It's just who I am. So
what kind of advice would you give to a young lady who may be listening to this, who loves music, who learned to play an instrument, but is a little on the, I don't know if I can do this for a living side of things?
If you're not completely 100% like, this is what I want to do, then don't do it. It's way too hard and it's not easy. And you should, if it's just everything in your heart, if you don't know who you would be without it, that's different. Do it for the right reasons. If you need attention or something, or I feel like a lot of people do it for the wrong reasons. No, like if your soul is screaming, I need to be an artist and travel and, you know, the hard work and the dedication to your craft, and I want to make people feel good and I feel like this is my purpose, then yeah, go do it for sure. But I will say this, I mean, if you're not doing it for the right reasons, eventually, like, you won't last.
And be prepared for a rocky road, because just listening to you, this has not been an easy road, and The Voice is really giving you, if I'm correct here, another chance to make sure that this is what you want to be for the rest of your life, correct?
Yeah. I feel like I've never had a fair chance of really getting that like exposure. And I think I needed to go, okay, if America doesn't want to hear me sing, then okay, like maybe I'm just like, you know, but I never felt like I really just finally had a chance to get in front of like this amount of people. And, you know, you go play a show and the bittersweetness of somebody being like, how are you not like huge or blah, blah. First, that was super endearing. And then a couple years more down the road, you're just like, yeah, I don't know either. Like, you know, and this is after being trampled on by working with several people that you could trust and like completely manipulated and taken advantage of you. And it's devastating. You know, it's just setback after setback. A lot of cool things have happened, though. I've gotten to do a lot of great things, but it's only been to a certain level. And so, you know, I'm hoping that finally people get to see me for the first time.
Well, I can't imagine anyone in America not wanting to hear you sing. After that great rendition of Alleluia that blew the judges away, and I know great things are in your future.
Thank you.
Once again, Morgan Myles has picked Wilmington as her city for Miles Across America. We have all the information inside this story on our website. And if you need to learn more about Morgan, it's morganmileslive.com. Sign up, follow her on social media, and we're all going to be watching The Voice. And we know you're going to do well. Morgan, thank you so much for taking the time. I know you're tremendously busy, and the best of luck from everyone here in southeastern North Carolina.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it so much. Thank you, guys.
A big thank you to Morgan Myles for taking time out of her busy schedule and joining us for our podcast interview. As a member of Team Camila, she's now made it through the battle round. So keep an eye on Morgan Myles on this season of The Voice, which airs Mondays and Tuesdays right here on WECT. If you want to learn more about her career, go to morganmileslive.com. That's her website. And follow her on social media. As you heard her speak during the interview, she does try to respond to all of her fans. Now, before we go, I'd like to ask you a favor. Please follow or subscribe to the One-on-One with John Evans podcast on whatever app you use to listen to your favorite shows. And if you would be so kind, please leave us a rating or a review. We do want to know what you think of our interviews, and the more feedback we have from friends like you, the higher we'll be listed on the apps and the better chance we'll have of bringing in even more new listeners. I'm John Evans. Thanks once again for joining us for this episode of One-on-One.